We begin our report here in Washington with two congressional afflictions, impeachment and a shutdown, and a New York City drug bust that reminds us of the stakes when problems we depend on the government to tackle hit the streets. We'll get to that story in a moment. But first, here's CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion on Capitol Hill.
The Committee on Oversight and Accountability will come to order.
After months of investigation, House Republicans began their first impeachment proceedings seeking to tie President Biden to his son Hunter and his family's business dealings.
What were the Bidens selling to make all this money? Joe Biden himself. Joe Biden is the brand.
Hunter Biden cashed in by arranging access to Joe Biden.
The White House has denied any wrongdoing, and minutes into the hearing, the panel's own GOP witnesses knocked some of the allegations down.
I do not believe that the current evidence would support articles of impeachment.
I am not here today to even suggest that there was corruption, fraud, or any wrongdoing. In my opinion, more information needs to be gathered.
Democrats mocked the hearing as a sham.
Honestly, if they would continue to say if or Hunter and we were playing a drinking game, I would be drunk by now.
And they called it a distraction from the looming government shutdown, with a countdown clock ticking by the minute.
We're 62 hours away from shutting down the government of the United States of America, and Republicans are launching an impeachment drive based on a long debunked and discredited lie.
Leaders in both chambers race to advance separate short-term funding packages. If they fail to pass, a partial shutdown could result in shuttered national parks, hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal workers, and essential employees like the military, federal law enforcement, and TSA forced to work without pay.
Can you guarantee there won't be a shutdown, or is it inevitable at this point?
I can't guarantee that. Listen, that can happen. It could not happen. The number one thing we have to do is finish our work.
And Nikole joins me now. Nikole, this is happening while a government shutdown is just a short period away. What's the explanation for why this hearing had to happen now in the middle of negotiations to avoid a shutdown?
Well, keep in mind this hearing was on the books. Obviously, you know, these negotiations over the shutdown certainly complicate matters. But since the speaker announced this inquiry a couple of weeks ago, it was always the intent of the chairman to move forward with a hearing this month. That being said, as you heard in the piece, many Democrats, though, still feel that it was a distraction. And at this point, given that we are just 2 days away from government funding running out, that the focus should have been on that instead.
And now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Still staying on the Hill, though, Senator Bob Menendez, who's indicted, and a lot of his Democratic colleagues have said he should resign. He talked to those colleagues Thursday. What did we learn about what happened there?
Yeah, well, I caught up with the senator right after that meeting and asked him what he told his colleagues. He did not share that, although we have since learned that he told them that he would not resign in spite of these bribery charges. But I also asked him if he can continue to serve in this capacity. Take a listen.
Can you serve effectively if you've lost the confidence of your fellow senators, many of whom are Democrats?
I will continue to cast votes on behalf of the people of New Jersey, as I have for 18 years. And I'm sure when they need those votes, they'll be looking forward for me to cast those votes.
So the senator making the point that he believes his vote is an important one, even though you have more than half of the Senate Democratic caucus that has called for him to step down. The majority leader, Chuck Schumer, still has not weighed in specifically yet as to whether or not he thinks Senator Menendez should step down, and said he will see how this process plays out now that Menendez has addressed his fellow colleagues. John.
Nikole Killion on Capitol Hill. Thank you for that reporting.
You bet.